Hi everyone, my name is East, and today I'm going to talk to you about a very fun movie called Stuart Little, and one that I grew up watching a lot. And I actually recently just watched this again, so that's why I'm very excited to show you guys to talk to you guys about this movie. And I think it's on Netflix. No, I watched it on Disney. So I think I watched it on Disney. Go check it out. I probably watched it on YouTube, but it's very accessible, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, let's just get right into it. So there's two parts that I've seen, but I know there's a third part that's animated, so it's like a cartoon. But the first two parts are the ones that I grew up on, and more the first part. The second part I watched when I grew up a little more, and so I was able to like understand everything that was happening very well. Whereas the first one I think I watched when I was like 3 or 4. So, but yeah, they're still one of my favorite movies. Okay. So here is the Little family. So Stuart Little is just the mouse's name. So Stuart, the movie is about a mouse called Stuart Little. He's right here, and his name is Stuart. This family, they are looking to adopt a child, and so when they go and visit all children that need to be adopted, there's a mouse over there. And so they kind of, talk to the mouse, and they really like the mouse, and his name is Stuart. And so this family is the Little family, and that's their last name. So this is, I forgot their names. This is, I think, Frederick Little, and I forgot her name. This is George. They have a son named George Little. And so Stuart joins the family. And so that's why it's called Stuart Little. And this is their house. They live in New York City. And if anyone knows, there's no houses like this. So this was like a completely fake house, but it's really cool how it's in like the house is like this small little house. It's not small. It's a big house. It's a full-fledged house, but it's in the middle of like these huge buildings. Is what they're trying to show us. So they're kind of showing like how the family is like a little family. And they have like their own catchphrases. They're a really cool family. They have like the uncles and aunts always visiting and stuff. And they bring Stuart a lot of presents and things like that. So here's just the beginning. There's a Stuart. He has like his little suitcase right there, and they're like he's like walking in the house. So that's how tiny he is compared to everyone. And they're like really happy to bring him home. And here's George. He like you can see the parents are trying to like show him, oh, here's your new little brother. And he's like that, he's like, I was not expecting that. And so he's kind of in the beginning, he's a little unsure about how he feels towards Stuart. He's very like, I don't want a mouse. I for a brother, I want like an actual person. I thought it was like an actual brother that I was getting, not a mouse. So yeah, that's kind of interesting to see. And then here's just some pictures of him settling in. So they have like this really nice big room for him already, because they were gonna bring home another child, they were gonna bring home a brother, and so they had this whole for George. So they had this whole room set up for a human like child, and so everything is so big for him, and so he's like this tiny little mouse in like this huge bed, and things are a little like scary at first for him. So it's a really nice like wholesome movie, and they're like really settling you into the family in the beginning. And here they're sitting, that's little Stuart Little on the chair, next to George. And so it's kind of awkward in the beginning. It's kind of weird, as it is when you're sitting amongst new people, and you're getting introduced into a family. So yeah, and George is really angry all the time, and the parents are trying to be positive about this new change in their life. But it's very fun to see. And here I have some really fun images. So I don't know if I mentioned this, but they have a cat named Snowbell. And it was one of my favorite characters in the whole movie. And the cat can communicate with the mouse, with Stuart. And so that's really fun how you see their back and forth. And obviously, the first thought when you realize that they have a cat in the house is you're like, wait, oh, there's some work going on. You're like, wait, there's a cat in the house? How with a mouse? Like, how's that gonna work? Isn't the cat gonna try and eat the mouse? That's exactly what happens. In this picture right here, they're like scolding Snowbell because Snowbell has Stuart in his mouth. And so it's just like it's really funny, their dynamic, and Snowbell is constantly trying to like get Stuart, and like he's so angry that there's a mouse there, and he's like, oh my god, the cat community, they're gonna make fun of me, like I'm not allowed to eat this mouse, I'm not allowed to do anything. How like the mouse is kind of the cat's owner in this sense, because he's like a brother, he's like a son in the family, and the cat is the pet. And so he's like, I'm not this mouse's pet, like that's just weird. And so here there's a scene in which Stuart is actually, it's in the very beginning of the movie, in which Stuart is actually like, he's just lost in the laundry basket, and so the mother like puts him in the laundry without knowing that he's in there, and so he's like getting trapped in there, and Snowbell doesn't do anything to help him, and he's like, why would I help you, like you're ruining everything. And it's just, it's like in the beginning you feel so bad for the whole family because it's so hard to adjust to the change, and it's so weird, and Stuart is just feeling so out of place. George doesn't like him, Snowbell doesn't like him, he's like, oh, I don't belong in this house. But then here you see George is kind of starting to play with him. He doesn't like, Stuart kind of enters his toy room, his playroom, and George does not like that at first, but then he starts introducing him to things, and George has like these remote control cars that he plays with, and so Stuart can fit into those, and so George is having like the time of his life playing with him. And so you kind of see that relationship grow after George starts to soften up to him, and then you see that their family is adjusting, and then they start enjoying themselves like a completely normal family. And so here's just some pictures. They take like a family portrait and everything, and that's Snowbell with them. And it's just really cute the way they're all interacting, and they all become like a real family together. And you're really rooting for them. You're like, this is so nice. Everything's gonna end up so well. But then some trouble comes in the way, as it does in every movie. And I'm not spoiling anything for you. This is like, there's so much more that goes on in everything. So, but it just involves some two mice. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. And obviously a lot of cats. So that's Snowbell, and these are street cats. So stray cats. This one I think is called Smokey. This one is like, I don't remember, Lucky, I think. And so these are all, and this one's Monty, I think. So they're like really cool street cats that Snowbell is friends with. And I think Snowbell like sneaks out food to them from time to time from the house. And so then you see what happens when they find out that Snowbell has a mouse in the house, right? And then like there's some mice come in, and like things get really interesting. But yeah, that's about it for the first movie. I'm going to cheat a little bit and add one slide here, talking about the second movie, because I loved the second movie. I think I loved the first one when it came out. Obviously I was so little, so I kind of grew up on it. I used to watch it over and over again because I loved it that much. And then the second one came out and so I remember watching it for the first time. I remember how I felt, and it was amazing. The second movie was so much more colorful. You can see like the mom and the dad, and George has grown up a little, and you can see how they actually have another baby now. And just you can see it's so much more colorful and so much more brighter, that I think it's just so fun to watch as a kid. And you can also see that he's like, they've as the family's grown up, it's been like a year or 2 years or so, their dynamic has changed. They've come up with ways to make Stuart more inclusive in the family. So they have like a bed that's his size, and they have pajamas his size and things like that. They have like a chest of drawers here, so he has books. So it's like really cute how they have his setup, and then they have like a little sink where he brushes his teeth. And then here you see Snowbell, and they also introduce another character in this movie, which is a little bird called Margalo, and her story is very interesting, and the whole movie revolves around her friendship with Stuart and all the complications that come with her. I'm not going to get into detail, but it's like the whole story is so complicated, so like you're so heartbroken for her and for the whole family, for like Stuart's family and things that are going on, but then it's also so funny to watch how they are all Anyway, I'm not gonna get into details, but there's like some issues with this bird. And but her and Stuart are friends. Anyway, that's all that I have for you all today. I wanted to initially just keep this about the first movie because if you watch that, then you can watch the second one. And I'm pretty sure if you watch the first one, you're gonna want to watch the second one. So I didn't even have to talk about the second one here, but I just wanted to add some pictures here to make you want to watch the second one as well. They're both great movies. And if you don't like the first one, please still give the second one a chance. I really vouch for the second one. But that's all for today. And I hope you all enjoyed me rating these two movies. And I'll see you all next time. Bye.